Welcome to the first disaster save of the new DLC, and it's a doozy. It is on civilian, but this has been this player's first try, or one of his first tries, playing the new Germany as a brand new player. Let's see what he did. Right, so let's immediately look at the strategic overview, and things are not good. Let's start by overview here. Right, I immediately see he has recovering economy. That's horrible, and the rest is fairly normal. Extensive conscription, but we're out of manpower, but we'll take a look. Autarky's fine. War economy is fine. I will go up to total mobilization though, because simply, recover economy. Need to be compensating for that. We have no MIOs because the person who sent this in doesn't have those DLCs. So side note, I'm using all the DLC. This save was sent in with, I believe, none of the DLC, so there are going to be some mismatches, but we'll discuss that when it comes up. All right, decisions. So operational planning is going to be useful later. Reichskommissariat. So you seem to have completely ignored this, the player who sent this in. That's fine, it's fine. However, look at Alfred Rosenberg. He doesn't seem to do anything. That's because he doesn't. Not until you start creating Reichskommissariats. These are your puppet governments from conquered lands. Why do you want to make these? Well, for one, it makes this guy actually give you stats. Let's quickly do Nederlanden, Noord-Frankrijk, Generaal Gouvernement. There we go, those are done. And now suddenly he reduces our consumer goods, he increases factory construction speed and factory output. You want at least 10 of these decisions taken. He can be improved 10 times. Second reason why, if you don't have recovering economy and you have the economy of conquest, your economy hurts more the more non-core land you occupy. Front lines, we'll be changing our front lines in a little bit. I'll do that off camera because it's going to take a lot of work. In short, we'll work west to east. I'll try to defend the line from this river, including the Maginot, so up through the Maginot, through Luxembourg, Sedan, Arlon, and use the forests here to meet up there. Let me just draw something real quick. Probably something along these lines, so we hold on to most of the terrain. Down here, again, we want to hold Switzerland off, preferably push them all the way back. Over here, I don't know what we'll do. I'm thinking we use the Sudetenland fortifications to fall back to. Simply give up Czechoslovakia, fall back to the Sudetenland forts and wear them down. And in the east, we either hold... I'm thinking fall back to the Vistula. Leave Romania and Hungary to their fates. Vichy France is our puppet though, so I'm going to ask for their forces. Templates, and this is where you've really made a couple of big mistakes. I'll try to touch on these. I'm going to cancel the production of this Spain line because you don't have the manpower anyway. But this is your main infantry unit. So, one, it's way too big. Two, you're using support companies that you shouldn't be using. Anti-tank is worthless. And you're combining a motorized unit with a foot infantry unit. Don't do these things. Why? The only advantage a motorized artillery has over regular artillery is speed. However, a unit moves as fast as the slowest unit in it. In this case, that is the infantry. The infantry can only move at 4 kilometers an hour, meaning the motorized artillery also moves at 4 kilometers an hour. So these are needlessly more expensive and get none of the benefit of being motorized, but they have all of the negatives of being motorized. Therefore, if you make infantry units, use regular combat support battalions and artillery. Don't use the motorized version. The motorized version is only good if you were combining it with either tanks, but I'd rather not, other motorized infantry or mechanized infantry. So don't do this. Secondly, they're too big. So remove these two. And now you have a 30 width unit. So use this with basic artillery instead of motorized artillery. And you have something that can use as a budget offensive unit. When you're making an offensive unit, switch the engineer company here, switch that out for assault engineers. They have more attack bonuses. Also add Stoßtruppenbataillon if you're playing as Germany and you've gone with the Prussian legacy. Now, you also have the D-wall. I suppose this is your defensive unit. Again, this is too big. Don't use support anti-tank for defensive units. Don't use logistics companies for defensive units unless you're fighting in terrain that is horrible, in which case, don't fight there. Simply get engineer companies for the entrenchment, support artillery because it's cheap and an easy way to get soft attack into a unit, and get anti-air to reduce the enemy air advantage. Then, downsize, downsize, downsize. Let me show you. The only unit you need as an infantry line holder is the basic German Infanterie Division, where you add on support anti-air. It's 18 width, just a block of infantry with a little bit of support. This is fine. This is all you need for a basic line unit. Now, if you're very rich and you're feeling fancy, add a single artillery unit to it, and it brings it up to 21 combat with. This gives it a little bit more of a bite at the cost of increased artillery needs. This is also functional. As for our priorities here, always get reinforcement up to high priority, as well as garrisons up to high priority. Anything else, switch as needed, but always get garrisons and reinforcements up to high priority. We're switching everything over to the Infanterie Division. Oh, that's gonna be horrible. Over here as well, we're switching everything over except for this army. These still have a little bit of work to do, so I'll get these guys to clean up that pocket. Everyone else is being switched over to the Infanterie Division, and we'll route them to their new front lines. Now, each individual division is weaker than the ones you had made before, but we can get a lot more of them. Look, we now have 600,000 additional manpower. We're going to immediately leverage that by spamming out more divisions. So we're going to get 48. So make it 50. And we'll get a handful, 4, 5, 6 of these mechanized units out. And we'll get more as we go. But for now, just a few to get ourselves started. We still have a little bit more manpower available. Something like that. It's gonna have to do, because manpower is getting a little precarious. The infantry will reinforce the front lines, and the mechanized will be our unit to use for counterattacks. Could get more manpower. Easiest way to do that would be go up to service by requirement, but two buts. One, it hurts your industry, and two, it takes quite a bit of political power. Now, we did have enough political power to do it, but I don't want to do it. Why do I not want to do it yet? Two reasons. We still have access to Totaler Krieg, which is going to give us a total of 1 extra percentage of recruitable population. And two, we can still salvage something here. Once the front stabilizes, our losses are going to go down, and we won't need as much manpower moving forward. Now, for focuses, I'm going to make a couple of changes here. So overall, most of the important stuff is done. You've done things differently than I would have, but nothing too terrible. One thing I'm not too sure about here is you've gone Prussian Legacy. I haven't used this before, but it feels like the weaker of the two. I prefer the Panzer Doctrine, but it is what it is. We're committed now. What we're going to grab is the bonuses from the Luftwaffe. Air is king. But first, we are going to fire Himmler, and we're going to replace him with Martin Bormann. After we get Bormann, we go to Totaler Krieg, slowly starting to fix our industry, and from there onto the Air Force. Now, what we absolutely must get is this. Autarky achieved. Research. We haven't done any research. I think you kind of gave up at some point. That's okay, but never surrender, never give up. I'm going to get construction because I need to build stuff. I'm going to get dispersed industry because it stops the allies from bombing us as hard, and it increases the amount of factories we can build. I'm not going to get advanced machine tools yet. Instead, I'm going into air. Your air tree is going to look different from mine if you don't have by blood alone. Same with your armor tree if you don't have no step back. So this is very different. Simply always increase the number. I think we've mostly solved the issues. Oh, we have some special projects still. So, land warfare. We're gonna get the super heavy howitzer. It's a meme, but we have the factories for it, and it really meshes well with infantry. We have a factory in France. We're gonna lose it, but for now we'll put it on the Flammpanzer. That's a flamethrower tank. Very neat. Comes with by blood alone. No step back. You're working on nukes. Fine. We're working on the V1s. It's not that great, but might as well. And then Bohemia works on nuclear research. Why? And then Franken, also nuclear research. You've really gone ham on nuclear research, haven't you? Then Air Force. We do have an Air Force still. I'm going to get all of the tactical bombers, transport planes, and naval bombers. I'm going to delete those simply because they serve no purpose. I'm not making any. We're going to divert air into the Benelux. Will start intercepting enemy bombers there. These fighters will move into Königsberg for now to bomb the hell out of eastern Poland. All right, front lines have been drawn. They're a little ambitious in the west. We'll see if we can hold them. And we're gonna pull all these units out of their terrible positions right back to more defensive lines. I'm gonna try to hold a line from Memel towards Grodno, Brest-Litovsk, Lvov, and then the Carpathian Mountain. Are these Carpathians? Anyway, the mountains here, just outside of Hungary. Depending on how Hungary and Romania do, I might decide to extend my protection to them, but not bloody likely. I'll slow the game down and start cracking. So I'm going to use the French divisions as well as these SS and Strafdivisions. These are units that come via decision and event. They're templates that can't be changed. You can't create more of them, so you kind of have them and you're stuck with them. I'm going to use them to guard my ports because the UK, US, and everyone else is going to invade us. Over there, yeah, this is not going to go well. We'll see what happens. Everything is repositioning, and these guys should be able to finish off this pocket. That's going to be a massive pocket, though. If we can finish that off, that would be great. Oh, we can get Bulgaria involved. I'm going to invite them into my faction. Should I invite them to my faction? I think we do, mostly to serve as a distraction. Like, they will die. Like, there's no question about it. I cannot help Bulgaria. Bulgaria also cannot help us at this point. If I had units that I could put there and use those now unprotected borders to quickly take out, like, Greece and Yugoslavia from behind, I would. Perfect opportunity. However, Bulgaria is currently going to serve as a nice little distraction while I get my units to safety. All right, we got Bormann in, and he can replace Himmler. I really don't like Himmler. With that done, like I said, Totaler Krieg. Right, after some repositioning and allowing my allies to die, we've got a more or less solid front in the east. It's gonna need some fiddling, and a very, very thin front in the west. So the only reason it's not been breached yet is because the enemy hasn't tried. Did manage to push back to the Swiss border in Baden and almost to the Swiss border in Württemberg, but Oberbayern, Österreich, Niederbayern, these are still lost, unfortunately. I need to find a way to get those areas back. I have been able to secure Bohemia and Moravia, which is great, and I think that will allow me to establish the Reichsprotektorat there. I've also just realized you never went to war with Denmark. Now, Denmark is irrelevant, but the Straits of Denmark are not. I need to take the Danish belts. If I take the Danish belts, I control Denmark. The Allied fleets will not be able to interfere in the Baltic, whereas they can now. If it's just the Soviet fleets I have to deal with, I'm not really worried because I can fend those off easily. Allied fleets is another matter. As soon as I have these mechanized divisions ready, I am going to throw them at Denmark in an effort to make Denmark go away. That is Totaler Krieg. That gives us 1% additional manpower. Well, it takes 2% of manpower away, but it activates women in the workforce automatically, giving us another 3%, so we end up with a total of an extra 1% manpower. I think I'm going to go for Weserübung, 28 days. It's relatively short. It gives me a war goal on Denmark and then one on Norway later as well. This will allow us to quickly knock out Denmark. And if we ever take control of Norway, we can get some stuff out of Sweden as well. All right, line is cracking in some places. There's a large concentration of American forces in Czechoslovakia. I might have to yield it unless I can get reinforced. Oh god, they're stacking this place to high heavens. And over here I'm having some trouble as well. For some reason my army decided to fully reposition out of nowhere, giving up all, I do mean all, of their entrenchment. That was not great. As a result, we're now fighting in an area I don't want to be fighting in. Please withdraw. The reason this is suddenly in such a sorry state is, and I don't know why, the AI simply decided that the entire army had to reposition. This here is a problem. We need to counterattack, fend that off. We need to contain this. Yes, the mechanized has a job. Counterattack here to just contain that bulge. The rest of the line's fine. Soviet front's not budging, so all in all, we're holding. I also just noticed that the Maginot's gone. I'm going to assume you click the button to dismantle the Maginot. Oh yeah, they're breaking through up north. Yeah, this is a lost cause. So we're giving up that area. We're gonna have to sit on the Rhine. Oh, I don't want to give up this much ground, but we're gonna have to. We'll just cheese a few last stands, assign them to a different general, and hit last stand with that general. That buys us a couple of days to get units in to reinforce it. Just need a little bit more time until this extra army can be squeezed out. That will change the equation entirely. Over here, mechanized should be moving in soon to push that back, and then we can use the mechanized to swing back over to the west and push that back as well. So considering the air situation, I'm just losing more and more airplanes. The numbers I'm going up against are too big. The difference in quality is not there, so I'm gonna stop all air missions that are not directly over Berlin and North Germany. Probably I'm taking too many losses. Not until I can get better airplanes out. We are pretty solid in the east still. Like, the Soviets are attacking, but there's no realistic way they're gonna get past that. The west is starting to stabilize. I've got another 12 divisions out, 12 more on the way, and those numbers should give us the edge we need to be able to hold this line, I think. First order of business is probably going to be to work my way towards this impassable terrain. Like, this squiggly red line is impassable terrain. It makes for an excellent front to put your back against too, so if we can push up to there, we'll make our front line easier to split off. And then we swing west, take out France, Spain, Italy, and then we swing east to take out the Soviets, I guess. Pull the mech out. They've done their job for now. Put them on Denmark so we can quickly overrun Denmark. I think Denmark's lived long enough. I'm going to I could bring my casts in, have them do like one of their last rides to glory over the Jutland Peninsula before they all die. Maybe divert some of my fighters who are dying in droves over Eastern Germany. Just to stop this. At least like the front is holding. Let's declare war. They're going to join the Allies. I genuinely don't care. Should be able to overrun that relatively quickly. Now, this is Denmark without the DLC, meaning they don't instantly surrender upon contact with an enemy. So I'll actually have to fight them. Alright, that should be Denmark knocked out. Alright, free guns, free trains, free equipment. But most importantly, that secures, where are we? The Danish belts. Meaning I should not have to fear naval invasion from that area, at least. Okay, good. Means that frees up the mech. Gonna bring them like to this area. With a little bit of maneuvering, I might be able to encircle some of those American divisions and push to a more defensible river down here. Or I try to fight in this area. Yeah, get Munich back. That would not be a terrible idea. Get them over here to retake München. Yeah, basic front line is super solid now. Mechanized is kind of required to hold this gap because the AI force concentration here is insane. There's so many divisions trying to attack these couple of tiles, and they're not the best tiles in terms of defense, so I may have been better off to let this fall and simply sit on the fort line, but I'm somewhat committed. We are taking casualties, yes, but not nearly at the same rate as the enemy is. They're taking way more casualties trying to attack us, and we're holding very, very well. This is a solid front line here. And we're also making headway in Bavaria, so we're slowly creeping towards Munich, München. Alright, the mechanized has retaken Munich. I control Oberbayern again. Should be a little bit of manpower in there as well, I hope, because I am gonna need to mobilize more. Ooh, war support's dwindling as well. A little luck. Might be able to create an encirclement here. Doing the thing. Alright, halt. Try again. Need to push these guys out, isolate them from the rest of the front, and I would get a nice little pocket there. Alright, these guys are pocketed. Destroy them. Destroy them now. Good. That sets me up on the river line. Much better defensive ground. Very good. Very nice. Very happy about that. Mech push there to hold these guys in position. Solidify. Oh, they've retaken Munich. Of course they've retaken Munich. Just retake Munich and we'll be fine. At least we've got Regensburg back and drive them out of Munich. Come on, take the state back and we'll be in a much better position here. Alright, perfect, perfect. That's good. A lot more comfortable. The rest of the work is going to have to be done by the Mountaineers. Like I said, they are being trained. They're being ready for deployment, and then we can get this over with. Now I control Niederbayern again, as well as Oberbayern, factories and resources. No resources. Well, a few resources here. Alright, I've tasted blood and I want to see if I can get more. I'm gonna use all 12 of my mechanized to try to get across Liège and then a cut through Leuven, Brussels, Ghent. See if I can get this northern section encircled. The the goal would be to sit on 1, 2, 3, these 4 tiles instead of this entire meander around the river. While the river is a good defensive position, I would like to actually, control more of that stuff. So I'm going to try and push out, create encirclements, and move forward. Rest of the front still solid. This is annoying, but not insurmountable. Then I run into Ghent, where they have 35 divisions on a single tile. What? All right, well, we're not going into Ghent, but Belgium has capitulated. That means potentially potentially we could do something funny here. Into Kortrijk, you pin the units into Ghent, and then these are all technically encircled. Technically, all of these guys are encircled. Now, they are seriously overstacked on this area, and they are more than likely going to hold out, but I'm going to attack, see if I can't pin them into place, and the rest of this infantry follow along, see if we can fall... oh, never mind. They're not fully encircled anymore. Damn it! Oh, got it. Got it. Now, mechanized on the inside, infantry on the outside. Fill out this front. Strategic redeployment and fill out the front. I have to keep an eye on the rest of it. If it's collapsing, no, it's still solid. Okay, redeploy. Make sure they cannot break this back open in there and start collapsing this northern section. Push them into their ports, and then... I think we have them all trapped. Is there a port here in the area? No. All of these guys up north are trapped. There's a lot of divisions in here. But I should be able to hold these positions now. Just make this happen. Collapse that. Take Ghent back. Come on. Well, that's a lot of divisions into one tile. Whew. Yeah, it's a port. They're going to prioritize it, obviously. Oh, it doesn't matter. They got memed out of it. All right, that means we have 16 divisions encircled there, and, well, many divisions encircled just overall. That was a lot of casualties. 174,000 in that one pocket here, and I'm curious to see what the next pocket's going to be. The other pocket was 576,000 manpower. Ho ho! Yeah, this was a good payoff. And now that gives us terrain we can actually work with, plains, and we can push further south. Oh, well, we're here. Let's keep trying to outmaneuver the enemy. Every encirclement, a death blow. Oh, yes. Finish that up. Get them Dunkirked once again. That's another bunch of divisions destroyed. Oh, and another pocket. That's another 10 divisions gone. And in keeping with our age-old traditions of making the AI look bad, we're back in Paris. Yes. All right, another pocket. We're doing it. Kill them all. These are not the largest encirclements, but they all count for something. Now, strategic redeployment, please. The line is getting along in some places. And I think we've sort of won the air war when it comes to these skies over Eastern Germany. That's where the majority of the bombing is or was happening. We're stopping most of it, and we are winning the numbers game. So our airplanes are shooting down way more than they're losing. So in the end, it's going to count for something. Over here, mountaineers are in position. See if they can actually do something. Let's start taking the Allied line apart here tile by tile. Looks like I was not paying enough attention to the east. We've lost a couple of tiles here. It's getting dangerous. We lost a supply hub at Lvov along with the river line here, so I'm gonna get my mechanized all the way over there. The west seems fine now, ironically, and I have finally beaten the enemy in the sky. We now control the air, and with the mecha in position, we're gonna start pushing back. First take Lvov back, and then the rest of the river line. And because the world is not a fair place, I have also been naval invaded in the Low Countries once again, so the the mech has his work cut out for it. Now it's up to the mechanized and the mountaineers now to throw this naval invasion back where it came from. It is going to be a good amount of kills if we can finish this off quickly. Okay, let's get them all into Dunkirk, and then, yes, reinforce memed. Oh, they're all stuck here. That is nice. Any naval invasions I missed? No. Everything else is okay. Oh, this is not okay. Soviets have pushed out. We've got these guys boxed in at least. Finish the job, kill them off, and then everything. Yeah, it's like 30 divisions. Everything to the Soviet front, because that place is falling apart. All right, kill them off. Good, they're all dead. To the Soviet front. And push these guys back to that river. Well, there is some good news. Soviets have decided to go to war with the Huangshi clique. That does mean the Chinese United Front will march against the Russians. Oh yeah, this does look like another disaster waiting to happen. Best get my troops in position. Oh, contain that. There we go. And that is another couple of divisions eliminated. And in other joyous news, the Mountaineers have made it to Innsbruck. Oh, that's good. One more tile and I can separate the fronts out. That will be nice. One red front line, one blue front line. All right, considering there's virtually no Soviet troops here, I'm simply going to try and make a couple of advances. See if I can take some of the critical supply hubs in the region, push them back, do some damage, see what I can do. And we have a breakthrough here. We've reached the pass mass here in Tyrol, meaning the fronts are now fully and truly split, and we can start using the Mountaineers to squeeze the Swiss, and slowly, we can probably, maybe, hopefully, eventually take out the French with that front line. Alright, with the motorized or mechanized in position, we're going to see if I can take the Baltics back. I'll take Riga and then pause a little. Need to take out the Baltic. Alright, that's a blow to the Soviets. Get that front line under control. Take more grounds. Alright, time for some campaign instructions against Switzerland. We'll have a little bit of an easier time taking them out. They're our next target on the chopping block. And time to work on the glorious jet engines. Maybe that'll help us win the air war, because this is just horrible. I mean, in raw numbers, I think we're shooting down more than we're losing. Yeah, the Soviets don't really have any strength left of them. That's a good enough push for now. Alright, finally breaking through in other places. This should be fun. A couple of encirclements, reclaim some grounds. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's get these guys to Kiev. I don't know if this guy, I don't know if the original player actually ever got to Kiev, but I will make sure these men will reach Kiev. Alright, I've made it to Kiev. I want to do something. It's probably a terrible idea, but if it works, it would be so incredibly funny. I want the mechanized to cut straight through the south here, towards the Black Sea, get to the coastline, separate out the fronts, have a Soviet front and a Balkan front, and just go ham. Head down to Odessa, head down to Akkerman, split the fronts. These guys ready for deployment. We have split the fronts. Now my mech is gonna rush down here as far as they will be allowed to go. Well, Romania's back on the map. They're gonna feel good about that. Is this incredibly silly? Yes. Did it work? Also, yes. The mechanized has to go home now. God, that is a problem. And with that, my gambit has become a disaster, because of course the UK lands some more troops here. It's not gonna work as I had intended. Did I just get nuked? Yeah, we've just been nuked. Let's just clean this up first. Yeah, the atomic bombing of Bohemia. Oh, we're gonna turn this into a massive kill, actually. We're pushing them all back. I think now I put some pressure on the French. See if we can't get them to see reason and go away. Big offensive. Just an all-out offensive. This is gonna cost me. I think we got a breakthrough. I think we got a solid breakthrough now. Alright, get these guys into the port. Push that port. Push that port. Push. Get those guys destroyed. Good. That is overrun. That is overrun. Now push south. Yes! The French have capitulated. And we're on the Spanish border. I could probably knock out Spain in one go. Alright, these positions are... Oh, for God's sake, they're untenable. Because they're... naval invasions. I'd like to have 2 armies for the Spanish campaign. The rest is used to keep these guys bottled up, and then this will have to do. Not the cleanest, but we've achieved what we set out to do. Massive clap back, if you will. I've been nuked once again. Okay, so they've nuked Bohemia, they've nuked Moravia. It's not actually Germany, so I care considerably less than you might think I would. We're gonna halt these offensives, we're gonna halt that offensive. Get everyone into position, and then we'll simply overrun Spain first. I made an accidental mistake here. So, we had pushed up to here, and I don't really know why, but suddenly those units are no longer where they, were. I'm gonna pull my mechanized back. They're gonna need to plug that hole, push all the way back. Great. It's okay, though. We'll fix it. We'll always fix it. Alright, time to bring in the cast to help resolve the issue in the Alps. It's not pretty. Oh well, we've closed the gap, which honestly results in an even better position than before. That's a bunch of Americans cut off, and another bunch of Americans cut off. These guys are all gonna die, and there's quite literally nothing they can do about it. Let's just make sure the hole doesn't open back up, and we'll be golden. And that's the last stand of the Portuguese on Porto. With that under control, next order of business is obviously Italy. Alright, so I'll be honest, things are getting a little difficult in the east. Soviets pushing much harder than I would have given them credit for. And I'm just tied down. I'm tied down everywhere, and I'm not really able to leverage my strength right now. Anyway, the mechanized has almost solved the issue we have here of massed Soviet ranks. So I've been been planning for a big maneuver here. I've been eating away at the Italian front, and now Switzerland and Italy are only connected by one mountain tile. I'm going to throw all my mountaineers at that when everyone's in position. That should isolate Switzerland. I can then use sustained attacks, I think, to bring them down finally. And then at the same time, all my mechanized, all 24 mechanized are going to be concentrated on Italy proper, and we're going to sweep down the peninsula, taking that out. Okay, the mech has cut Italy in half. That means I'm now going to sweep the mechanized all the way down the boot as far as they will go. Oh, we've swept the boot. Now to just sweep France. It does appear we've got Italy under control. So I'll take out Palermo, and that should see the area secured. Right, my next plan is to strike hard into Yugoslavia with the Soviet front stabilized. I don't need to throw my mech at the problem every time. Let's first see if we cannot liberate our secondary capital of Vienna. It would be great to have all of my corps back. Oh, we got Hungary back. Well, part of Hungary back. So he's got South Transdanubia as well as North Transdanubia back. So you're welcome, Horthy. How's the East holding? It's always the naval invasions, naval invasions, naval invasions. It doesn't stop. All right, next step. I need to keep making my lines shorter so I can strengthen everything else and come at them with a really big stick. So we're gonna cut off this bulge here. Why am I doing this instead of just going for the kill on Yugoslavia? Going for the kill on Yugoslavia would probably be relatively easy, but give me a very, very overextended front. So what I'm trying to do is shorten all the front lines wherever I can. Everyone to the Alpine region. Oh, thank God we're actually starting to impact the situation here. Definitely winning the air war over the Alps. All right, time to end this farce around Switzerland. Just bomb them. Now the mechanized can clean up. There goes Switzerland. They had not a lot of stuff left, but look at the amount of divisions trapped here. That's 100 American divisions, give or take. Oh, yeah. Yes. Look at the casualties. I want to see the casualties here. 951,000 losses. 1 million allied forces in Switzerland alone, gentlemen. Yeah! Issuing campaign instructions against Yugoslavia, followed by an all-out attack on this front, and I'm pretty certain they're gonna fold like a cheap suit. Oh, that's so good to see. Oh, it's got him! That's a lot of like smaller-ish encirclements, 34, well, small, 30, 40 division pockets casually appearing. Swept them out of most of Eastern Europe in that move. The Balkans secured with the push. Pushed down into Greece, where the mountaineers are now mopping up the last resistance, meaning I need to make sure my guards here guard everything. Nice big maneuver against the Soviets. We drive down to Odessa. And I have total air superiority, near total air superiority, I should say. Look at it. They're all caught up. Oh, we've got the ports. And with that, 100 or so Soviet divisions eliminated. And it's done. We beat them. I'm thinking we end it now. Yeah, Soviets are down to 200 divisions at most. So we actually outnumber them, though most of our army is garrison. 18 million casualties. Jesus. 9 million for the UK, 2 million for the French, 9.3 million for the US. We've made it to Moscow. We've taken Leningrad. We push, and the empire is secure. Look at that. It's cost us 6.7 million men. But we have the Soviets on their knees. 7% left to go, and we end the war. This is it, the final straw. One last push with campaign instructions. It's done! After that peace deal, we have our gloriously disgusting peace deal. It's done. We've won the war on the European continent. The Allies are still there. They're still tough as hell. And it would take a lot of effort getting to them, but I have the Soviet fleet at my beck and call. Combined with my own fleet and a submarine campaign, I could probably get to the UK, overrun them eventually, definitely with our current air power, and then it's just an endless slog across the seas to the US, but I think we're gonna put an end to it here. I'd say this is saved. This has certainly been interesting. All right, hope you guys at least enjoyed this video, and I hope you want to see more disaster saves on the channel. Let me know if you have any interesting ones, and I will be sure to check them out. I hope you guys will enjoy this next video as well. See ya.